Welcome to the History of Britain, Part 1, Origins to Medieval Kingdoms. Prepare to embark on an epic journey that spans millennia, from ancient tribes to powerful kings. How did a small island, situated on the edge of the European continent, shape the course of world history? This is Britain, a place defined by its borders, but whose story has always reached far beyond its shores. Its journey from a distant land to a global power is essential to understanding the world we live in. Our story begins in the deepest past, prehistoric Britain, a time before writing, when survival was the only law. Early settlers learned to survive the unforgiving Ice Age, adapting to harsh climates and hunting colossal beasts across landscapes dramatically different from today. And then came the ancient builders, who raised monumental structures like Stonehenge. To this day, the sheer effort and the exact purpose of this iconic stone circle remains one of history's great mysteries. From the shadows of prehistory, we transition to the blazing light of a global empire, the arrival of Rome. In 43 CE, Roman legions landed, launching a conquest that would transform the southern half of the island forever. They brought roads, magnificent cities like Londinium, and the enduring boundary of Hadrian's Wall. Britain was culturally transformed. It became a thriving, if distant, province of the empire. This Roman expansion laid the groundwork for future British identity, blending the native spirit with Mediterranean civilization. But no empire lasts forever. When Roman authority crumbled, Britain faced a period of profound chaos, invasion, and rebirth. With the legions gone, the land was left vulnerable. From the continent, new invaders arrived, the Anglo-Saxons. They forged new kingdoms, setting the stage for what we now recognize as England. What happens when a land is left unguarded? The answer came from the sea. The Vikings. Their terrifying raids and subsequent settlement created the Danelaw, carving up the Anglo-Saxon world and plunging Britain into centuries of desperate warfare. The year 1066, a date that would violently redraw the map of Britain and change its destiny forever. The pivotal moment was the Battle of Hastings. William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, claimed the English crown, defeated the Anglo-Saxons, and established a new, formidable dynasty. William's victory was not just a change of monarch. It was a total restructuring of England's language, law, and land ownership, permanently tying Britain to the fate of Europe. In the centuries that followed, Britain entered the High Medieval Age, an era defined by stone castles and the strict hierarchy of the feudal system. Life was brutal, but saw incredible shifts in power. The signing of the Magna Carta in 1215 established limits on royal authority, forcing the king to acknowledge fundamental rights. Could a king truly rule without limits? The Magna Carta was the first step in a long series of power struggles between kings and nobles that would shape the future of British democracy. But Britain's story was far from over. From the foundations of these ancient kingdoms, a new age of power, conflict, and global discovery was about to begin. Join us next time as we explore the age of the Tudors and the dramatic rise of the British Empire. If you're enjoying this journey through history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories from the past. Welcome back to the History of Britain series. This is Part 2, exploring the pivotal era of kings, revolution, and the rise of a global empire. If you've been following along, you know that the medieval age saw the consolidation of kingdoms and the forging of a singular British identity. But from those medieval beginnings, Britain now entered an age of profound transformation, politically, socially, and religiously. The 16th century brought the powerful Tudors, fundamentally reshaping the state and the church. Henry VIII's break with Rome sparked the English Reformation, forever severing the nation from the Catholic Church. Decades later, Elizabeth I brought stability, navigating threats foreign and domestic. However, the following Stuart dynasty plunged the kingdom into crisis. Conflicts over power between the monarch and parliament led to the bloody English Civil War. This catastrophic conflict culminated in the unprecedented trial and execution of King Charles I. What happens when a king loses the trust of his people? In 1649, the world watched as Britain answered that question with the swing of an axe. The brief experiment with a republic failed, leading to the Restoration, but the power struggle was far from over. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 finally solidified the rise of constitutional monarchy. Parliament gained undeniable supremacy, setting Britain on a unique path towards political freedom and stability. This political stability paved the way for an even more explosive transformation, the Industrial Revolution. From the mid-18th century, Britain became the world's first industrial nation. Factories, powered by steam engines, multiplied across the landscape, drawing millions into burgeoning, crowded cities. It's a surprising fact that Britain transformed from a society of rural farms to a nation of industrial cities in just a few generations, changing the daily lives of every citizen forever. The era of coal, iron, and steam fundamentally remade Britain, providing the engine for its next great chapter. Equipped with the wealth and technology of industrialization, Britain looked outward, focusing on global expansion. The 19th century was the century of empire. Trade networks stretched across continents, ships sailed to every corner of the globe, and Britain exerted unparalleled political and military influence. How did one relatively small island come to rule a quarter of the world's land and people? It was the empire on which the sun literally never set, a vast, complex legacy of power, trade, and cultural exchange. But, as history consistently proves, empires do not last forever. The 20th century would soon arrive, bringing with it global conflicts and profound political changes that would test the foundations of the British Empire like never before. If you're enjoying this cinematic history series, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss part 3, where we tackle the challenges of the modern age. Welcome back to the third and final part of our documentary series, The History of Britain. We pick up where we left off, as the 20th century dawned, bringing with it unprecedented change. As the empire reached its peak, a new global conflict was rising, testing the very foundations of British power and society. The first half of the 20th century was defined by two catastrophic global conflicts that profoundly reshaped Britain and its place in the world. World War I, the Great War, demanded immense sacrifices, shattering the long-held Victorian confidence and costing a generation of men. World War II saw Britain display extraordinary resilience, particularly during the London Blitz, proving its strength in the face of existential threat. Victory came at a monumental cost. The wars had bankrupted the country, initiating the inevitable decline of the vast British Empire. The era of decolonization saw countries across Africa and Asia demand and achieve independence, radically altering Britain's global standing. These independence movements reflected a global shift in power, resulting in a significantly smaller political and territorial footprint for the United Kingdom. Turning inward, post-war Britain focused on rebuilding, creating a more equitable society at home. A major achievement was the creation of the welfare state, guaranteeing healthcare and social security for all citizens, exemplified by the National Health Service. The 1960s brought massive social and cultural changes, a youth revolution that ushered in a new, modern British identity. Crucially, large-scale immigration from former colonies began shaping modern Britain. Modern Britain became one of the most multicultural societies in Europe. As the century closed, Britain found itself wrestling with its identity, leading to a complex relationship with its European neighbors. Decades of integration into the European Union concluded with the historic 2016 vote to exit, known as Brexit, fundamentally altering Britain's economic and political alignment. Today, Britain is a global leader in finance, technology, and culture, yet it faces new questions about its future. What does it mean to be British in the modern world? Britain's journey is one of continuous evolution, from a small island nation to the heart of an immense empire, and back again to a powerful, influential state. Its lasting global influence, through democracy, language, literature, and culture, remains undeniable, shaping the world far beyond its borders. From ancient stones to modern cities, Britain's story is still being written. If you enjoyed this documentary and the entire History of Britain series, please show your support for our work. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more historical content and future updates. What part of Britain's history surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.